Have you ever met someone who wasn't what you expected, but turned out to be everything you needed? This story will make you believe that love doesn't care about money, beauty, or status. It finds you when your heart is empty and fills it when you least expect it. So if you believe in miracles of love, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and stay till the end because this one will stay with you forever. Ethan Cole sat in the back corner of an elegant restaurant, checking his watch for the 5th time. The man everyone in the city called the untouchable CEO was, at that moment, nervous. For years, Ethan had hidden behind his empire, Cole Industries, building skyscrapers, buying companies, making headlines. But when the lights went out in his penthouse every night, he was just alone. His best friend had convinced him to go on a blind date. "She's a model, Ethan, smart, stunning, exactly your type," his friend had said. So for once, the billionaire had put away his phone and let himself hope. Across town, in a tiny apartment that smelled faintly of baby lotion and cold coffee, a young woman was struggling to get her 3-year-old daughter dressed. Her name was Maya. Life had been unkind to her. Her husband had vanished before the baby was even born, and every day since had been a fight between rent, food, and diapers. That morning, her friend Clara, who worked as a server in a luxury restaurant, had begged her for help. "Please, Maya, one of the waitresses called in sick. I'll pay you for the shift. Just cover tonight." Maya didn't have the money to say no. By 7:30, Ethan's patience was thinning. The model he was supposed to meet was late. His jaw tightened as he signaled a waiter. "Maybe she's not coming," he muttered, but just then a small voice caught his attention. "Mommy, I'm hungry." He turned and saw her. A young woman in a faded blue dress, her hair tied back hastily, standing near the entrance with a little girl clinging to her leg. For a second, Ethan thought she looked lost. Then, by some strange coincidence, the hostess walked up and pointed toward his table. "Sir, your guest is here," she said brightly. Ethan blinked. "My guest?" The hostess smiled. "Yes, the lady said she's meeting you, Maya, right?" Maya froze, her cheeks coloring. She had no idea what the hostess was talking about. I think there's been a mistake, I'm just..." But the hostess was already leading her forward. Ethan stood confused as the woman and child approached. Maya's daughter looked at him curiously. "Are you the prince Mommy's meeting?" she asked. Ethan couldn't help but laugh, a sound that surprised even him. Maya stammered apologies, explaining she was only there to work a shift in the kitchen, not to meet anyone. But by then, something about her voice, her honesty, the way she clutched her daughter's tiny hand, had already disarmed him. "Sit," Ethan said gently. "It's okay, you can both sit. Looks like my date stood me up anyway." Maya hesitated, but hunger in her daughter's eyes made the decision for her. They sat awkwardly across from a man whose watch probably cost more than her year's rent. As they talked, Ethan learned that Maya had studied design before life got hard. She wanted to work in fashion but had to quit school when she got pregnant. He listened, really listened, in a way he hadn't done for anyone in years. Her words painted pictures of struggle, but also of strength, quiet and dignified. Meanwhile, Maya couldn't stop wondering why this man, clearly rich, clearly out of her world, was being so kind. When the little girl spilled juice on his expensive suit, Maya nearly burst into tears. But Ethan only smiled and said, "Don't worry, it's just fabric, you can't stain a good memory." That night after dinner, Ethan insisted on walking them home. When they reached her tiny apartment building, he saw the flickering hallway light, the peeling walls. Yet inside, her home was warm, filled with drawings, laughter, and love. For days afterward, Ethan couldn't get Maya and her daughter out of his head. He found himself driving by that neighborhood more than once under the pretense of business meetings. Until one day, he stopped. He brought flowers, not roses, but daisies, because she once mentioned they reminded her of her late mother. Maya didn't know what to say when she opened the door. "Why are you here, Mr. Cole?" He looked down, then up, his voice quieter than she'd ever imagined. "Because I can buy everything in this city, but I still don't have what you have. Peace, family, love." But just as they began to grow close, the world intervened. Photos of Ethan with Maya leaked online. The headlines screamed, "Billionaire dating a waitress." Board members frowned, investors questioned his judgment. Ethan's assistant warned, "Sir, this could ruin your reputation." Maya saw the chaos and pulled away. "You don't need me ruining your life," she whispered one evening, handing back the key he'd given her to his car. "You belong to a world I'll never fit into." Ethan's heart cracked in a way money couldn't fix. For weeks he threw himself into work but nothing felt right. Then one rainy night he received a message from Clara, the waitress who'd introduced Maya to the restaurant. "She's in the hospital," the text said. "She collapsed at work. She's been skipping meals to save for her daughter's medicine." Ethan didn't hesitate. He left a board meeting mid-sentence and drove straight to the hospital. When he saw Maya lying weak in that bed holding her daughter's hand, something inside him shifted permanently. He sat by her side and whispered, "If you think I'd trade you for anyone else's approval, you don't know how empty my world was before you." She cried then, not out of weakness, but because for the first time in years someone chose her. Weeks later, Maya recovered. Ethan quietly made sure her daughter's medicine would always be covered. And one sunny afternoon, as the little girl ran through a park chasing butterflies, Ethan knelt before Maya with trembling hands. No cameras, no grand gestures, just a man who'd finally found home. "You stole something from me that night," he said softly. Maya's eyes widened. "What did I steal?" He smiled. "My loneliness." Her tears fell freely then as she nodded and whispered, "And you gave me back my hope."